we've been seeing some pretty outlandish things on the internet, from trendy cosmetic procedures that you can't imagine someone would ever want, to AI technology messing with reality. You know, it's always a good day when our favorite, America's favorite holistic plastic surgeon, joins us. Please welcome Dr. Tony Youn.
Yes, thank you.
He's the best.
Oh, hey. Hey, Doc. Okay, so in the past, we've talked about plastic surgeries to avoid with you, but what have you heard about the Kim Kardashian lookalike who tragically passed away from medical complications?
Yeah, this is a young woman. Her name was Ashton Gorkani. Basically what happened is she was a Kim Kardashian lookalike. Her face looked a lot like Kim. Her body was basically Kim times 10 or 100. Yeah. Apparently, she underwent a lot of plastic surgeries, and unfortunately, she ended up getting her buttocks injected with silicone illegally in a hotel room, and she died pretty shortly thereafterwards. So, tragic story.
Wow.
Doc, before I get to my question, I've always wanted to ask a surgeon this. What is the code of ethics in terms of when you do see people with the outlandish, when you say times 10, where it's almost kind of cartoonish, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the dead, is there a code or something that you take where you could say, I don't feel comfortable doing this for you?
I mean, there's nothing official. We do have official ethics guidelines, but they're not that specific. I mean, for me, I turn down 1 out of every maybe 5 people that come into my office. And one of the big things is unrealistic expectations, as well as wanting things that are just completely unnatural. But unfortunately, it really is up to each individual surgeon what they decide to do and what they feel is ethical and moral. Okay,
so let's stay on the topic. Somebody comes into your office and they're interested in looking like a celebrity. And we have another case of that. There's somebody that allegedly died from trying to look like Jimin from BTS.
Oh, wow.
But apparently this was an AI hoax. How is this possible?
Yeah, there was actually a press release by a little-known publicity company that said that there was this gentleman who was a Jimin lookalike who had $200,000 worth of plastic surgery, who was on this Korean television show, who died. Major outlets actually reported this from the press release, but when people actually investigated it, none of this was true. The image was made by AI, and all of the locations and the television show and all that never existed.
Wow.
But it didn't stop some news organizations from covering it.
This is just going to continue happening. This is so crazy. This is insane. Okay, let me ask you this. What happens when someone has a procedure that's been banned, like string breast implants? How would maintenance work?
Well, this is a huge problem. So string implants were used back in the 90s before they became illegal, and they're basically made of a certain type of string that absorbs moisture. And these are, if you've ever seen photos of women with like impossibly large breasts, these absorb moisture and the breasts grow and they actually don't stop growing. They grow so big that they can literally pop. And so in order to take care of these, women have to literally stick a needle into their breast and drain the fluid at regular intervals.
Themselves?
So, I mean, yes, yeah. And I mean,
do you think they're flying in a medical team? Yeah.
Or doctor or something. I can't believe this. Oh, this makes me sad.
Yuck.
Well said.
Right.
Well said, Jeff.
That was my medical opinion. All right. Dr. Youn, so get this. An Australian tattoo artist posted a client that she gave tattoo Freckles to on TikTok, and there's backlash saying they'll age like a lower back tattoo. Why would someone do this? I feel like I'm shaming the lower back tattoo. And how will those age, Doc?
Well, the problem is that, you know, there's trends in fashion, there's trends in hairstyles and clothing. There's now trends in plastic surgery, and this is all driven by social media. So there are operations that are being done. This is a laser, and these are tattoos. You know, there's operations where people are doing it because they want to look cool, or they think it's kind of this fad. But the problem is if you get a hairstyle that's out of style in a year or two, then you can get rid of that hairstyle or get rid of those clothes, but you can't get rid of the plastic surgery. So buyer beware. Do not undergo cosmetic procedures with permanent results as a trend.
Wow. Or get a tattoo in Panama City when you're 18. So why are freckles trendy now? Why are people getting these?
What are freckles?
What are freckles?
So freckles, basically, there are 2 kinds. There are those freckles that appear when you're really, really young, and they basically will disappear, usually in adolescence. But freckles otherwise that occur in adults are basically signs of sun damage. You know, you get UV damage to your skin, and you develop freckles, they're kind of like age spots. And so these are things that I usually don't encourage, but hey, some people find them attractive.
You know, there's a company at Sephora you can get where they make freckles, like little cosmetic freckles, if you don't want permanent.
Well, for makeup, though.
Yeah, makeup, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
You mean a marker?
right. So we talked about AI earlier, but what do you think of how AI will affect your field of work?
Well, the easiest thing and the most obvious is that people are using AI to create images of themselves that they feel are their perfect image, and they bring them into plastic surgeons to say, hey, this is how I want to look like, or this is how I expect to look like after I get work done. And that in and of itself is potentially dangerous. That being said, you know, AI is who knows what's going to happen with this. And, you know, there actually were an AI that actually passed the university medical boards, essentially.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
Oh
when
my
you got
goodness.
AI that can pass your medical boards, I mean, sky's the limit with this stuff. It's crazy.
Wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Youn. And you think about robotics doing surgery, and it just gets bigger and bigger from there. Make sure you follow Dr. Youn across all social medias at Tony Youn, MD. You are always a delight. Our audience is writing you up as we speak. We will be right back.
Thanks, Doc.
Thank you.